All right, so I read this and I initially got really excited. I was like, OMG, Giannis available? Could he be? Could he? And then I read the article and it's like, I don't know.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, this is going to be a short video, okay? There's not much explaining here. Yeah, so as we know, okay, the Milwaukee Bucks, they have been disappointing in the last couple seasons. A lot of people blame the coach and Coach Bud, which, you know, honestly, with a lot of the things that's coming out as far as how the team has reacted and how they've been talking, I do understand where people are coming from with that. Me personally, I'm not super quick to say, get them out of here. I mean, literally, because they just won a championship not that long ago. But I understand in the NBA, it's a little different than the NFL. And in the NBA, you know, you got superstar talent. You only have them for a few years in their prime. You don't want to screw that up. And definitely the Bucks they messed up their opportunity this season. So this came out in the midst of all the chaos, and it is Giannis unlikely to extend his contract with the Bucks. So looking here, first and foremost, I saw was Windhorse, and I didn't get too excited. Okay, all right, let me take my cat out. She has been messing with stuff like crazy. Okay, you're gonna sit right here, and you're gonna be good. Okay? No. You're gonna sit here. You're gonna be a good cat. All right. So I saw this, and I was like, Windhorse. He's been kind of on and off as far as like factual information or whatever. And I read through, and I was like, okay, I want the exact quote of unlikely to extend Bucks this offseason. So I was trying to see if there was any type of source that he has, or if he says anything like my sources say, but it's literally an opinionated piece here. He says, I think it is unlikely Giannis extends his contract this summer. And as you guys know, you should know this, he has about 2 years left on his contract with a player option, I think on that last year or whatnot, or going into that last year or whatever. But with everything that's going on with the team, and considering there's new ownership, that makes it very difficult. And the Bucks are heading into a repeater tax. This is what happens. The teams are contenders year after year, and they spend. Everything on the team is about to get more expensive. Plus, we have new rules coming in that is going to limit the way they can improve the roster moving forward. They are a late stage contender with a superstar in his 20s. There are teams in the league watching very closely to see what happens with the Bucks this summer. So here's the big question, okay? Here's the big question, all right? So I've seen quite a few Spurs fans say Giannis to San Antonio. I've said this many of times. Giannis going to San Antonio makes sense on a cultural level, okay? It just does. His type of personality, it meshes well with Pop. I mean, Pop basically get along with just about anybody. But it does go well with Spurs culture, you know, wanting to win, being loyal to your coach or whatever. Giannis has not said anything like blatantly negative about his coaching staff. So those are all good signs, right? But I believe personally that's a pipe dream, okay? I think Giannis will stay with the Bucks. But if he leaves the Bucks, I don't see a reason for him to come to San Antonio. And the reason being is because even if we're thinking like 2-3 years down the line, and let's just say hypothetically, okay, in the best case scenario, the San Antonio Spurs get Wembanyama or whatever. I've said this. I've been very constant with this this entire time. If you get Wembanyama, we're not an instant contender, okay? I know people like to bring up Tim Duncan, but Tim Duncan got on a team as a rookie that was already established. I mean, it was already vets on that team, and yeah, they just needed someone to get them over the hump, and that's what Duncan did. The San Antonio Spurs don't need someone to just get them over the hump. We need a completely different team. We need a completely different team structure, and we don't even necessarily know what direction we'll be going in yet. There's so many different players that we can get, but whoever we get in this draft, I think we'll have a better idea what direction we go in. But the players we have right now, we're not building around any of those players. Like, don't get me wrong, I love me some Malachi Branham, but we're not going to build, around him. We're waiting to see where that next superstar comes from. Now Branham, I do believe he's going to be a star. Your boy Jeremy Sohan as well. I think that he's going to be a kind of like a Spurs star or whatever, but he's more of a glue guy. You're not going to build around Jeremy Sohan. So we're really in a situation where we're waiting. So that's going to take at least a year or two just to figure out how are we going to build around whatever players we get in this draft, right? More than likely in this draft. And then by the time we get to like Giannis free agency, dude, we're still rebuilding at that point. I don't know. I don't really agree with a lot of people that say that you get Wembanyama and all of a sudden you're not rebuilding. I mean, you have to continue the rebuild. I mean, just to some extent. I mean, I'm not expecting the Spurs to instantly make the playoffs because you got Wembanyama. It didn't happen with LeBron. Didn't happen with Luka. My cat's playing with my stuff. Yeah, it didn't happen with Luka, so I don't expect it to happen with Wembanyama either. So it's still going to be a process. It's still going to take some time. But yeah, Giannis will be going in the middle of maybe near the end, possibly, of our rebuild. But even then, the San Antonio Spurs got to deal with the Atlanta Hawks. So around the time that Giannis will be available, you will have a deal with the Atlanta Hawks trying to get their pick. So we're still going to be in the midst of trying to rebuild. So I don't know. Me personally, I don't think Giannis comes to San Antonio. I think that that's a pipe dream at this point. Would it be great? Sure. Like, I would absolutely love to have Giannis. I mean, anyone would, but I just don't see this as a possibility at all, to be completely frank, to be completely honest with you guys there. And it's such a weird time, or weird, like, news cycle. My cat is jumping all over the place. There you go. She finally jumped off. It's such a weird news cycle because, I mean, not only are we getting a little bit of news, which this is more so opinionated piece with Giannis unlikely to extend with the Bucks, but then you also get in the news with the Jalen Green stuff, that they're even thinking about trading him, which is absolutely manners to me. And I never use that word, so you know it's crazy. So yeah, it's just a strange situation that we're going through. But overall, just how I feel about it, Giannis, obviously we love him. And you know, we would love for him to come to San Antonio, but it just doesn't make a ton of sense. Also, can I just say this? I know I said it kind of earlier in this video, but like, do we have to just dog on the coaches every single time? Like, every single time? Don't get me wrong. I love Giannis, right? I love him. I think he doesn't get enough praise. I think that he's a phenomenal talent, one of the best players of all time already. I would say that. But dude, I mean, I'm sorry, he missed so many free throws in that closeout game. And I know that we want to point towards the coach all the time, but it's like, come on, man, you got to hit. I mean, literally, if he just hit just a few down the stretch, they would have came away with a win. Their season will still be alive. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyways, I'll give it to you guys later. Sorry, I ranted way too long with that. Giannis, love him, not coming to San Antonio. Those are my thoughts. I'll get with you guys later. Oh, if you want to support the channel, clanthemerchfan.com, link in the description, or become a Patreon YouTube member, only $2 per month. Thank you guys for the love. Until next time, man. Bye.